balance. So I want to dive in a little more, and I want to get into the specifics. What are some signs in which you can recognize that your life is out of balance? So let's talk about this now. First of all, let's just kind of talk about what is balance. What is this? What does this sound like? Essentially, balancing is just when you've taken the steps to have equilibrium in all the various aspects of your life, and one is not overriding the other, and you have control of your own emotions, and that when things do fall out of balance, you know how to right the ship, you know how to bring it back in and get it in the right direction. So some common signs for imbalance include, some physical signs. So, I mean, if you're constantly getting sick, if you're fatigued all the time, if you get, your weight fluctuates a lot, if you get poor sleep, if you just neglect your personal health, this is a sign that you're out of balance. Another sign would be for emotional signs. What does that look like? Well, okay, if you're irritable, I was certainly irritable when I was out of balance. And when you feel overwhelmed, you've got mood swings, you lose interest in your favorite hobbies, and maybe even loss of interest in talking to people and having relationships. You are persistently anxious and worried. These are all signs of having a lack of balance from an emotional perspective. Relational signs, relationships. You're distant or strained with these relationships that you have with people, and there's a lack of communication. You're neglecting family time. You are having more conflict with people, and you start to feel isolated. These are things that were happening to me, and I was having fights with my wife, and I was having arguments with friends, and I was having difficulty connecting with my kids. I wasn't spending the time I needed to with any of these people, and I was hiding out. So relationships, when they're not right, you know that things are not balanced. Some professional signs. There are things there at work you want to watch out for. So if you have lack of motivation to want to do the job, if your work performance is declining, if you're not interested, you're just bored with what's going on with your job. You're not happy with your job, and you begin to neglect that career that you have, and you don't focus on it anymore. This is a sign of imbalance. Behavioral signs. These are ones that are red flags that you really want to watch out for, especially like substance abuse. If you turn to alcohol or drugs to help yourself feel better, escapism, procrastination, neglecting personal time with people and yourself. If you don't give yourself personal time, and then sometimes you find yourself overcompensating in one area of life. I think this kind of ties into anxiety a little bit too, where you worry and all of a sudden you're focused on that in particular. Some mental signs. The big one here, negative self-talk. And I am like the expert on negative self-talk. For 50 years, I dealt with an inner critic in my head that was just overwhelming and controlling. And because of the things being out of balance in my life, my negative critic would always say, yeah, see, that's going on. And yeah, see, that's going on. And you're worthless. You don't know what you're talking about. And it just would get worse and worse, where you have difficulty concentrating. You're constantly worried and fearful of things. And then you have a lack of purpose that starts to happen. And then finally, spiritual signs. For some people, they're not religious, but for others, it doesn't really matter whether you are or not. If you're disconnected from your values, if you lose hope or lose faith, you neglect any of your spiritual practices, you're disconnected from the world, you don't want to go out, you don't even want to go outside. You don't want to go outside and experience the world around you. It is important when you have any or all of these. I had all of these. These were all happening to me. If you have one or more, you probably need to really focus on your balance.